Okay guys, since we finished our motor breakdown, we're now waiting for our heads to get resurfaced and our pistons to be made. We're turning our sight towards the body and the interior of the car.
This wing is what we're up to today. We're gonna take off the pre-existing, just little screen that they have on there and slap this guy on.
By wing, of course, we mean whale tail. So today's video is 911 whale tail install. Let's get into it. A clean workspace is always important. That includes the body of the car. So that's why we cleaned it before we started. We had a blast filming that intro, by the way. Not so much fun doing this shit. Okay, the ventilation that's on the rear deck lid right now is, you see that black screen right there? It looks like it's for the air conditioner, which we're not gonna use, obviously.
It is for the air conditioning.
Fuck air conditioning, you don't need that shit. So first thing we gotta do is take off this, I'm not a heating, ventilation, air conditioning expert. I don't know what that's called. So, air conditioning components are out.
Jump out, jump out, jump out.
No, well, that's just rude, man.
So I forgot to mention why the whale tail is important, but when we put the whale tail on here, it's gonna give us a whole bunch more room for the intercooler for the turbo.
Yeah, without the whale tail, actually, we'd have way less surface area because the intercooler can now get up in here. We have way more room to work with, which means we could have a bigger intercooler, which potentially means more boost.
It's also going to physically direct more air towards the intercooler.
When the intercooler is on top of the motor, we need a little bit more height. This gives us like an additional 4 inches vertical, and then if we really needed to, we got a lot of deck, we got a lot of metal we can cut out if it came to that, but we don't think it's going to. Oh, it's gonna look so good. The way this is gonna mount. God damn flies, dude, I hate them so much. We got this one off of a car that was just like this one. So, bolts to these tabs. And then unfortunately there's no holes up here, so we have to drill through the deck lid. We gotta shoot to the store to get some gasket maker and the appropriate hardware. Before any new body panels go on, whether it be part of a body kit, aerodynamics or anything, get a clean both surfaces thoroughly. This came off of another car, so it's got a lot of the old gasket on it still. So this all got to come off. The other thing we got to do is remove the 911 SC badge because the tail is going to go over there. You're not going to be able to see it. We're going to rebadge it when it's done too, because as far as we're concerned, it's no longer going to be an SC. Okay, to get most badges off, I'm sure you've seen it done. Any old hairdryer. Ours is the Baby Bliss Pro. It's probably pretty sweet. And a little bit of fishing line. You know, heat up and then you go underneath. Always look before you waste 20 minutes wondering why your dental floss keeps breaking over and over and over again. And then remembering that some badges are held on with little studs instead of glue. Because that's what I did. Like, the ones that have the bolts sometimes also have glue, but ours was just the bolts. You let me down, Listerine Coolment. Let me down hard. And you just stood there and watched Baby Bliss Pro. How's this coming along, buddy?
Done.
Ooh, so fresh and so clean.
So smooth.
I'm gonna put, that wing came with extra mounting points, so I'm gonna put some holes in right here so we can align the wing on the top end. That way we can bolt it all down and then mark off where we're gonna have to align it down here.
For anyone wondering what we're doing about these holes, what we're doing about, you know, the flaky paint under it, we're putting the wing on right now so we know what kind of clearances we're working with when we go to put the, fuck you. So we know what kind of room we have when we go to stick the motor in. After the car is all done, after we're done with the interior, after we're done with the motor, it's gonna go to a body shop to get repainted, and they'll fix all of that crap. Goes real snug in there. Okay, so it's bolted down. Bolt, bolt, bolt. There's 11 of them around the perimeter. We got the front end so we can line it up and see how the back's gonna go. Devin's in there right now, marking the spot we need to drill for the rest of the holes. All right, now we gotta drill the holes for the deck lid. There's no way around this, so Porsche purists, look away. Oh no, 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 Devin. There's only so many air-cooled Porsches left. Now, normally when you expose bare metal by drilling or something like that, cutting, drilling, anything, you should put a layer of primer or a similar substance on it. But we're gonna use some gasket maker to seal this whole thing off, and it's not gonna be out here long enough to do any damage. By the time it gets painted, that'll be taken care of. Okay, so the gasket sealer worked great. So yeah, we're gonna get way more cooling, a little bit of downforce, a lot of it actually. This thing's fucking huge. Not a difficult install, actually really easy, went smooth.
So our next few videos are going to be bodywork and interior related.
We're starting to work on those things because you might have heard us mention we dropped our heads off at Mirage International. They sent our heads out to get ported, and they're getting resurfaced and cleaned. We got to send a bunch of stuff away for powder coating, and just in general, we got to wait on the motor because either we're waiting on parts or we're waiting on parts to be worked on.
While we're waiting on all those parts to get finished up and us to get everything to put the motor back together, we're gonna work on things like the seats for the interior, you know, a roll cage install, or we decided against going with the wide body kit because...
Not definitively. We're leaning against the wide body, and there's a few reasons for that. It's extremely expensive, first of all, which, you know, if it was really worth it, it's something that we do, but a lot of people like it because it's an aesthetic thing. We're not going for like a balls out track build either. We're gonna keep the car with a lot of luxuries that had, you know, instead of like heat and air conditioning, because that's lame and we don't need that. But as far as leather and as far as, you know, the carpeting and everything like that that's inside the car, we want to keep things like that. So it would make sense for the outside to not look too race boy-ish. We want to keep the outside somewhat original, somewhat factory looking. So the goal isn't to build a race car. We just want to make a really fast street car. We have a lot left to do. The motor's out of the car and broken down, but there's an entirely different side to this, and we're excited to be able to show you guys all of that in our next few videos. Until then, we want to thank you for watching.
As always, please like and subscribe, and we'll keep the videos coming.